And just because folks like Charlie Kirk are now saying, hey, let this go, are true believers going to do it?
So this is a moment of sincere political urgency for Trump. Back in 2021, his lead pollster, Tony Fabrizio, did a survey of the Republican electorate and found that there were a full 10% of the Republican voters who said that they believed in QAnon conspiracy theories. So the political fallout potential here is very real. That's why the White House has, and President Trump himself, have been leaning on conservative influencers like Charlie Kirk. The fact that Dinesh D'Souza, who has fanned so many outrageous lies about the stolen election, about Obama's birth certificate, he's saying back off this. That really shows you that the influencers are falling in line. That doesn't mean, however,
how does that happen?
Well, it happens because a very angry president of the United States gets on the phone and yells at you. Or people from the White House really turn up the heat, which we know is exactly what's happening in this case. But that doesn't mean that the average voter, the MAGA moms and dads, are just going to forget and move on, because for years they were told, elect Trump, elect MAGA Republicans, and we won't lie to you. We will get to the bottom of all of these cover-ups that have disenfranchised you, that have put these powerful people in positions to abuse their authority and to do the most egregious, unimaginable things possible, like sexually abuse children. And now they're being told just to forget it and move on. I don't think it's that simple, but as President Trump has always done, he will find somebody else to blame for this. And already you're seeing Pam Bondi being thrown under the bus. Dan Bongino is making noise. I don't know that Trump is ready to fire anybody yet. That's, from what I'm told, he's very concerned about even getting somebody to replace Pam Bondi, confirmed through the Senate. So we'll just see what else happens in the next few weeks.
Well, he certainly has been very clear about his support for her so far. Ken, let me play for you what the president's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, said just yesterday.
There needs to be more transparency on this. And I think that will happen. I mean, look, I don't know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that, I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it. So hopefully we see that happen sooner than later.
Sooner rather than later, there will be more coming, Ken. But is that, I don't know, at odds with what the FBI and DOJ said just last week?
It absolutely is, Chris. That's the problem. They took a hard look at this with an eye towards being as transparent as possible. And what the career Justice Department and FBI officials reviewing this concluded is there's nothing more they can release because what's left is material that's been sealed by judges, so they don't have the authority to release it, or that identifies child victims or other kinds of victims of sex crimes, or that makes unsupported allegations against uncharged people, which is things that the Justice Department never releases. I mean, this is a secret criminal investigation that was a massive intrusion of privacy, and these files are kept secret for a reason. But it seems clear that the political mandate here is that they got to find a way to release something. They have to throw their base a bone here. They may appoint a special secret investigation to look again at this and find some way to do something to appease the base because it's not working. There's breathtaking cynicism and opportunism, and I would say it's on both sides now. Those House Democrats, they know better. To suggest that some of these, files involving child sex victims should be released is just incredibly cynical. They're taking advantage of an opportunity here. We understand why they're doing it, but they're really playing with fire, Chris.
Yeah, Melanie, we really didn't see a lot of folks in Congress getting involved in this until last night, and that's when Democrats tried to force this disclosure of the Epstein files and failed. Is that the end of the story on Capitol Hill? Could there be more to come?
Well, not if Democrats have any say in the matter. As Ken was pointing out, they have been very eager to capitalize on this growing rift inside Trump's coalition, a rift that does exist among Republicans here on Capitol Hill. Now, I would say most Republicans didn't want to touch this issue with a 10-foot pole. Most of them were dodging the questions when we asked them here in the hallways. And that is because it puts them in a really uncomfortable position, having to take sides between either Donald Trump, the president, or the MAGA movement. Now, there were a handful of Republicans who did come out and say they completely support Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi for how she handled this case. But there are other Republicans who have said the American public deserves more transparency. Just take a listen to some of these reactions from Republicans.
You know, just folks back home are not asking me about the Epstein file. That is just not my focus. I did 2 telephone town halls last week, 5,000 Kansans on both of them. This was not even brought up one time.
I think it's reasonable for the American people to ask who he sexed, trafficked these young women to, if anybody, besides himself. And if there were others involved, why they haven't been prosecuted.
Part of the problem with this issue, like so many issues, is that the longer it lingers, the greater the imagination gets, and sometimes it outpaces the reality, and that can become a big disappointment for a lot of people.
Now, there was an amendment that failed in a committee last night, but there was one Republican who crossed over with Democrats. That's Ralph Norman of South Carolina, a Freedom Caucus member. He voted with that amendment that would have forced the release of the Epstein files. And meanwhile, there are Democrats who are vowing to keep pushing ahead with this issue. Mark Veazey of Texas said he's going to introduce a resolution and try to introduce that on the floor in the coming days. So even as Trump and his allies try to turn the page on this whole saga, Democrats not going to let it go that easily, Chris.
Yeah, so Jeremy, while some big name conservatives seem to be moving on, you have people like Laura Loomer. She wants a special counsel appointed. Utah Republican Senator Mike Lee was suggesting that Epstein's former partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, maybe should come and testify. Obviously, whatever actually is in those files, there's a pending petition in front of the Supreme Court, which would definitely make a U.S. attorney not likely to want any of that out, which may be why Laura Trump said anything they are able to release that doesn't damage witnesses or anyone underage. But bottom line, I mean, is Kevin Cramer right that the longer this goes on, the more trouble it is? They've got to get this under control.
It's not going away. And this is what Trump and the Trump Republican Party get for fanning these flames of conspiracy theories for years when most of them knew better, right? This is what you're seeing right now with a lot. I would describe it as like, the MAGA grift machine devouring itself, because you have people like Candace Owens, Laura Loomer, Tucker Carlson, opportunists, a lot of them, who are using this as an opportunity to basically grow their own audience and tell their supporters what they want to hear, which is, no, this still has legs to it. We don't know the full story here. We'll never know the full story. And that's the thing about conspiracy theories. They continue to self-perpetuate regardless of what type of concrete proof you have out there. You could have a video affidavit from Jeffrey Epstein from the grave saying, I don't have a client list. Hillary Clinton was not involved. And it still wouldn't matter. They would say it's AI. That's what conspiracy theories are. They keep going.
By very definition. Okay, Yasmin, that brings me to you. And I want to play what the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, had to say about all of this on Monday.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost.
So, Yasmin, we know how much MAGA voters care about this. Should it be a goal of Democrats? Should it be the goal of organizations like yours to make not just Democratic voters, but those middle of the road voters who swing elections care about this too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. Leader Jeffries is exactly right. And I think this is just yet another example of what Donald Trump and House Republicans do over and over, which is tell voters what they want to hear to get elected and then do something vastly different. We're here, of course, here talking about the Epstein files, but it's also, we saw last week the single largest Medicaid cut in history. What all these things have in common is that they lie to us. And you know what Republicans, Democrats, and independents have in common is they don't like being lied to. So the question before us is, what do we do about it as Democrats? And part of the challenge before us is we know that voters, whether Republican, Democratic, or independent, they're on our side, but they're not hearing us. We're not breaking through to them. And part of that is because we're talking to voters way too late. Our conversations with them are way too superficial and one directional. They're not about the things that they really, really care about. And that's why we've got to throw away the playbook, the old playbook, and we've got to start a radically different approach. And at Swing Left, we're working with House Democrats now on a new program called Ground Truth, which is our most ambitious effort ever to reach voters. And that's not just Democratic base voters, swing voters as well, Republican, independent, and squishy Democrats too, to make sure that starting now, over a year before the election, we are out knocking on doors and not skipping people just because they don't agree with us on everything, but really deeply listening, engaging, and trying to understand those ground truths of what do people care about and how do we make sure they know about the lies of the Republican Party that are directly going to impact their lives in materially harmful ways.